we look at this picture, who does he remind you of? Well, I thought he looked quite like him. You know, when you look at it, you think, oh, he looks quite like, what's his, oh, I can't remember what his name is now. Maybe not the hair, but the face itself. They look quite, I mean, if I showed you that and said it was the guy from Top Gear, him, well, I've got to look his name up now because it's annoying me. Hang on. That's it, Jeremy Clarkson. Don't you think he looks a bit like Jeremy Clarkson then? I mean, it can't be the same person because he died in the late 90s and he'd now be about 95 and he's in his 60s. But I thought maybe not even these pictures are a good one to show them together, but when you see that, doesn't he look a bit like him? Or what you think he looks like? I thought that was a bit crazy myself. Sometimes he was quite funny, he was. But anyway, someone asked me to go and look up Elvis Presley and the Statue of Liberty, and look at that. I mean, I have to say that Elvis Presley does look quite like the statue, doesn't he? Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. What are we living in? Everything's just crazy. Anyway, so that was my thoughts to that Elvis Presley did, after all, look quite like the Statue of Liberty. Crazy! Look at that one up here, look at that, that's quite good, isn't it? Just stick his hair on, oh look, it's... Anyway, let's carry on with the video. Aha, this post on Facebook says, Tartaria was a country from the 1200s to the 1900s. Here it is on a map from 1688. I think that's obviously where Russia's going to be, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that? 1200s to the 1900s. Well, that's when Tartaria ended, 1925. The First World War ended it, and then they carried on destroying it in the Second World War. But what's your thoughts then with what this person said? Wow, I don't know if I've ever heard of these before. Driving from Yuma to San Diego in the 1920s required a trip on the wood plank road to cross over the sand dunes. A small portion remains as a historical site. Does anybody else? I didn't. Wow. That one says in the magazine 1962, but it's probably not 1962, the picture. I suppose that's what's left. Wow. We've done that one. What's your thoughts on that then? I put some links for the Titanic film out on Facebook, and this person, Jeffrey, here says, the futility, the wreck of the Titan, written in the late 1800s about a fictional liner that crashes into an iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean and sinks, all a planned event. So I go, thank you very much, because I didn't know, and there you go. So we're going to play this now. So I thank Jeffrey very much for that answer. I didn't know there was a book. It's really strange, isn't it, that they make the film but they don't mention that it copies a book. And here it is, and look at the ship. The ship looks like Titanic, doesn't it? Oh my god, it's just ridiculous. It looks like it's almost the same ship. You know, pictures of it using a Titanic-like ship. Crazy or what? I'd never heard of this. How many other people have heard of this book? So it says here that basically he was an army officer who'd been dismissed from service, now an alcoholic. He works as a deckhand on the Titan. One night while sailing from America to Ireland, the Titan crashes into a small ship at full speed and splits in half. oh, splitting it in half, sorry, who witnessed the collision while on lookout. It is offered a bribe by the captain for his silence. He refuses and vows. The captain offers an attempt to discredit him by drugging him. And the next night, the ship capsizes. Only 13 people survive. Roland and his daughter jump onto an iceberg. They find a lifeboat washed up on the iceberg. That's convenient. And Roland also fights and kills an attacking polar bear. They're rescued eventually by a passing ship and brought back to England. But that's quite incredible that it's so like. Anyway, and also this one. The Statue of Liberty was my first... Let's just stop it a minute so it doesn't move on. The Statue of Liberty was my first Mandela effect in the early 70s. Climbing to the crown, I saw the stairs to the torch. There was a sign saying, "Torch closed due to maintenance work." A few years ago, I discovered the torch had been closed from the public since 1918 due to a threat. I know what I saw. So thank you very much, Eric. I'm so glad that there are some awake people. He knows what he saw. And then this one, like, I'm looking at this one, right? Is this to drive up and then you drive up? Are these cars going round here and then driving down? Something else they didn't want you to know about the Eiffel Tower. That's quite incredible, isn't it? Again, I'm not sure if that's a road. So you can drive across. And also I looked up, because somebody asked me what the Olympic was. It is registered as a people carrier, but the Titanic wasn't. The Titanic was a goods carrier. So that's very strange indeed. And this bit now we're getting onto is that my lovely, lovely, lovely Monique put a little video out the other day, because for Easter they're going to do some wreaths, and she has classes. So this is her trust. You can go to the web page and have a look. It's called the Glade Trust. It's in Yorkshire, and they would like people to come and help them as well. Yeah, there it is. Volunteers Friday 1 PM to 4 PM. And there it is in Yorkshire. Dove's Cottage. There's the telephone number if you live in Yorkshire and you would like to participate in this. Anyway, let's hear what my lovely Monique is saying.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm not quite sure. Probably afternoon now. But I just want to tell you that at the Glade Trust, where I am today, we're having a bit of a working day. We've been collecting and foraging for honeysuckle, all sorts of foliage. We've been also cleaning up some of the fruit trees. So I've decided I'm going to be making a couple of wreaths. So we have a lot of large stems, which I'll be attempting to do 3 or 4 different varieties. And I'll be holding a class for wreath making. The wreath making will be either morning or afternoon, closer to Easter. We'll also have a good walk around, get to know the Glade Trust itself, and we'll provide teas and coffees, and hopefully you'll have a nice afternoon or morning when the dates have been verified. So yeah, sorry about the noise. We've got a working day today, as I say. So hopefully talk to you soon. Bye.
So we're going to play this again, and I didn't actually see it until I slowed the footage down, so we'll just play whatever that is flying past. There it is, a little bit slower motion, and it's definitely got a round top on it. So there it is, and then I noticed them. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 orbs or stars or whatever they are. Do you see them? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll see another one in a minute. Let's keep going. There you go. It's now moved. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there, and there's one there. And look at this thing. So we just move it on a little bit slowly. It's got like a, what do you reckon that is? And look, here's these orbs. Look at it, it's kind of got like a round top on it. What do you reckon that is? So we'll just play it from here again. It's in slow motion. We'll play it back from here. So it's coming out of the clouds, and I just noticed the orbs. Do you see them? Stars or whatever they are. There's one there, one there. Here they are, 3 of them. One there. Do you see them all? So we'll just go back, because now I wasn't concentrating on what the thing coming out of the clouds was. There it is. There it is. Look, wonder what that is. Look at all those orbs. Are they stars? Crazy or what?
London had reached crisis point, and a radical solution was called for to get around the city quickly. And that solution was the first passenger underground railway in the world. The plan was for the Metropolitan Railway to run from Paddington in the west, connect to the mainline stations of Euston and King's Cross, before terminating at Farringdon on the edge of the city.
I find myself adding bits to this video. I really wanted to know then, so let's see what the first train looked like. But it's quite crazy because, what, did they go through the tunnel like that with a steam train on? No wonder it nearly killed them. Or did it look like that? Or did it look like this? And look, they've got top hats on and that. Quite early, probably early 1900s. They've got electric ones, but they went through like that, did they? Wow. 25,000 people. Do you really think that they could cope with it? And look, there is a picture of a steam train saying that the world's first underground. If you went to all the trouble of symmetrically doing all this, why would you stick a silly old steam train in there with open carriages that would more or less kill the people as they went through, with all the fumes and toxic stuff? I mean, did it look like that? Is that electric? It doesn't really. Oh no, there's the steamer. Sorry, I missed the steamer. So there's the steamer, and they've got carriages on. Was it like that? It looked like this, but you were travelling through it like that. I don't think that goes with that. I mean, that's quite incredible, isn't it? So you have tunnels looking like this, all dug out perfectly, and you're taking everybody through like this. So if it looked like that, then this lot inherited it and put in what they could. Wow. What's your thoughts to that then? It's all a bit mad, isn't it? But it's all mad. Which way do you reckon we were travelling then? Because that looks like a killer that way.
And Baker Street was one of the first stations built on this brand spanking new invention. What makes this place so special to me is that as you stroll along the original platforms, which today carry the Hammersmith and City line, you're really walking through history, following in the footsteps of the underground pioneers who created these lines using the ingenious cut and cover method. But more on that engineering later.
I was merrily watching this last night, and I've stuck a few sections in, and I really do not mind what anybody is. Anybody can be whatever they want to be in this horrible place we live. But that you can be whatever sex you want to be, you can be whatever. But when this guy came onto the programme sounding just like a man, wearing his man watch, but with a dress on, women's shoes, a coat and pink hair, talking just like a man, and she's laughing away with him, I don't know, it kind of turned me off a bit, to be honest, because he looked just like a man, and even when he worked in the underground, he was wearing women's clothes. No, everybody can be equal and all that, I don't mind, but I was just a bit like, oh my god, no, what? I just turned me off last night because it looked so like a man dressed as a woman. That was the answer. But let's carry on with the video, because I don't mean any meanness to this person if it's true, but they're just showing it to us on the telly now.
1963, passengers travelling on the world's first underground would have come and walked down this passageway. I mean, feel how low the ceiling is. It's really imposing. But when this was built, this was the first in the world. So they're just testing out how to do this. Really, this is brilliant engineering being implemented for the first time.
The original footbridge has been closed off to the public since 1911, when Baker Street underwent more expansion and a redesign. But for those early tube travellers, nearly 160 years ago, this would have been like nothing they'd ever known. As one journalist reported at the time, it was an almost otherworldly experience. For the first time in the history of the world, men can ride in pleasant carriages and with considerable comfort.
So this is a programme I like watching. Mickey really used to like this programme as well. But when the other person came on, I don't know, I just turned myself off. But it's always good to see a little bit of history, because they're taking you down that corridor. In 1911 it was closed, but they used to walk through that, and a little bit this programme, which I didn't show, was showing that the road is only a few, I think they said feet above that. The road itself, they dug all that out, and the road isn't that far above. But to even do this, you would have had to have had proper machinery. You can't just have spades and forks. I just think it's incredible how, I just think that it was the League of Gentlemen ones. I put them before the Victorians. They did it all, and they had money, machinery, the whole thing, and they're pretending the Victorians did it when it was done at least another 100 years before. But that's what my thoughts are. So we're just playing a little bit of this. And when we finish, thanks for watching. What's your thoughts to this video?
Pounds, 128 million in today's money. And on January the 10th, 1863, the first ever underground passenger railway in the world opened to a city desperate to try it out. The Manchester Guardian reported that by 9 o'clock it became evident that neither the locomotive power nor the rolling stock was at all in proportion to the requirements of the opening day.
I had to add this because I am just so confused going to look it up. So it says here that public transport in London Underground, the services started in 1863, and the original plan was to pull the trains with steam locomotives using fire bricks in the boilers to provide steam. But these, well, as I said just before, you know, they were dirty and everything, and the steam in there, probably very hot. Anyway, it says that. So I put in, when did London Underground start using steam trains? 1863 for the Underground. When it was first opened in 1863, it says steam locomotive 1866. And then they ran until 1961. But anyway, everything says something different on the internet. So I looked there. So when did the London Underground stop using steam trains? 1961. Until this new technology in 1961, which, you know, you think, well, what's that going to be? Ah, electric. So this is when they stopped using the steam trains. It was in the late 60s. So Google never get monitored for all the things that are put on here, do they? No one is being told off if they're giving us wrong information, but it's round and round, because we're going to add a bit more in a moment. I was just wondering which network, which underground would have been using steam trains till the 1960s, because that's what it's saying. And then I come across this, because I knew it had to be electric. It says the 1890s. So if they had electric trams, you know, electric underground, why did they wait till the 1960s then? Because it says this is the new ones, but actually they had steam. Like, why would you have steam anyway if you could have had electric from the 1800s? I just don't get it, but I don't think Google care what we see, because it doesn't really add up, does it? I mean, the 1800s electric. Everything is just different to what you're told, isn't it? You could look up one thing and see it one way, but actually we'll just go back to that bit. There. 1890s. It obviously was all here and they just didn't know how to run it, so sometimes maybe they stuck in some steam trains because something happened, didn't it? But yeah, what's your thoughts then?
It's estimated that 25,000 people took their first ride that day, but some issues did arise. It was understood that there would be no steam or smoke from the engines used in working this tunnel railway. All we can say is that on one of the journeys between Portland Road and Baker Street, not only were the passengers enveloped in steam, but it is extremely doubtful if they were not subjected to the unpleasantness of smoke also.
Oh yeah, after telling you that it was all smoky down there, all the steam and the soot and whatever it was, doesn't look like that to me, does it? Doesn't look like this tunnel was made for that, does it? Why would you have a tunnel like that with this on it? I don't know, it just doesn't add up. But I was trying to find smoked filled underground, and it doesn't show you any pictures of a... Oh, maybe that one. Is that a real picture? I mean, look at this. Here's a drawing with all this coming out, but it's not all over here, is it, with what this is left behind? I suppose you could say it was going that way, but oh, I don't know. And this is how they did it. See, what you're standing in, 1 second. I mean, that one there looks quite steamy, doesn't it? Just on that little bit there. But when you're standing in here, you see it on that one, but you don't see it on the older picture. Doesn't show you. I mean, if that's all going in there, look at that. What would it be like in there? Look, if they were open carriages with all that steam coming off, it would kill you. You wouldn't be able to survive the journey. So, if this amount of steam is coming over the carriages, how could they have travelled through it like that? What's your thoughts?
They found that such was the problem with the atmosphere in the tunnels, where the smoke and the steam was kind of retained, that they had to build extra vents in the 1870s to try and dispel the steam. And here at Baker Street, those lovely glazed, light wells that go into the station had to have the glass taken off the top to try and get the steam out through them. Such was the problem with the atmosphere.
So, even though they knew that the people were caked in steam, soot, dust and dirt, 25,000 people were down there. Do you get that? I just don't know how to explain it. Why would you put steam trains down there? Obviously there had to be a big shuffle round because steam engines give off steam, soot, dirt, and everybody was breathing it in. Maybe it's go to the London Underground, the new killer. I don't know, what's your thoughts on all that? Anyway, as I said, thanks very much for watching.